Hello and welcome to Lyra Books, where we explore the stories, people, and ideas shaping the world of consulting. I'm your host Bhakti, and in today's episode, we are diving into a topic that deserves both recognition and celebration: the woman who changed consulting. From breaking down the barriers to rewriting the rules of business communication and organizational behavior, the consulting industry has been profoundly shaped by pioneering women. These trailblazers didn't just participate in the field, but they transformed it. And today, we are going to explore the stories of some remarkable women whose contributions have left a lasting legacy. Let's start at the very beginning, long before the word consulting became mainstream. Women were already laying its intellectual foundations. Mary Parker Follett, often called the mother of modern management, was one such pioneer. Born in 1868, Follett had no formal graduate education and never worked in a traditional corporate setting. But that didn't stop her from developing ideas that were decades ahead of their time. Follett believed that management wasn't about hierarchy, it was about collaboration. He coined the idea of power with instead of power over. In her eyes, didn't need to be a zero sum game. Instead of dominating others, leaders should seek integration, finding solutions that unify perspectives rather than dividing them. Sounds familiar? It should. These are the principles behind today's agile methodologies, team empowerment strategies, and flat organizational structures. Management thinker Peter Drucker once said that Foley was not only right, but supremely relevant today. Her work reminds us that leadership isn't about control, it's about connection. Now, let's talk about another giant, Lillian Moller Gilbreth. Born in 1878, Gilbreth was one of the first female engineers to earn a PhD, and she is widely considered the first industrial organizational psychologist. Alongside her husband Frank, she co-founded a consulting firm that specialized in time and motion studies, an early form of process optimization. But what made Lillian stand out was her insistence on considering the human side of the work. She looked at how people moved, where they got fatigued, and how their emotional well-being impacted their performance. After Frank's death, Lillian ran the firm on her own, pushing forward a vision of consulting that combined engineering rigor with deep empathy. In short, she humanized industrial efficiency, something that's still relevant in today's world of automation and AI. Fast forward to the post war period, we meet a new wave of women changing consulting from the inside out. Barbara Minto is a name every consultant should know. She joined McKinsey and Company in 1960 as their first female MBA hire. Her background surprisingly humble. She started as a secretary, earned her way into Harvard Business School, and then cracked the male-dominated world of elite consulting. But Minto didn't just break in; she left a permanent mark. She created a Minto pyramid principle, a logical structure for communicating ideas that's now a global standard. Whether you're writing a deck, a proposal, or delivering a boardroom pitch, chances are you're using a format inspired by Barbara Minto. Her pyramid method, main idea first, then supporting arguments, followed by data, forced people to clarify their thinking. She said it's best. The pyramid is a tool to help you find out what you think. After leaving McKinsey, she built a global training business and published the Pyramid Principle, which remains essential reading in the field. And then there is Dame Stephanie Shirley, a woman who didn't just innovate in consulting, she reshaped the entire landscape. In 1962, Shirley founded Freelance Programmers, a company that offered remote work opportunities to women in tech, decades before anyone used terms like flex work or gig economy. She started the business from a kitchen table and grew it into a powerhouse. By the mid 70s, over 90% of her programmers were women. She also gave a significant equity to her employees and later floated the company, then known as Xanaza, on the London Stock Exchange. Shirley's story is particularly powerful when we realize she came to the UK as a child refugee during the Holocaust. Her journey from the displacement to knighthood is one of the most inspiring in business history. She didn't just open doors, she built them. Moving into late 20th century, the emphasis began to shift from breaking into consulting to building a lasting support networks within it. One woman who recognized this need was Elaine Laporte. In 1997, she founded Women in Consulting, or WIC, a network designed to connect independent female consultants, especially those in tech and marketing industries. What started as few consultants meeting in a back room quickly turned into a thriving organization with hundreds of members. WIC didn't just provide social connection. It offered a platform for sharing best practices, finding business opportunities, and mentoring. Today, WIC continues to thrive, offering webinars, workshops, and an active online community where women can ask questions, share sources, and grow their businesses. Thanks to leaders like Laporte, women in consulting no longer have to go it alone. Now, let's talk about where are we now. Women are increasingly taking center stage at some of the world's biggest consulting firms. Take Enid Report, Accenture's Group Chief Executive for Strategy and Consulting. She's been hailed as one of the most influential people transforming the consulting industry today. Or Susan Penfield, CTO at Booz Allen Hamilton. She leads innovation and emerging technologies at a firm where 30,000 employees and billions in annual revenue. And it's not about leadership with big firms. More women are founding and leading their own consulting businesses. For instance, Pioneer Management Consulting recently became a certified women-owned business, a process that demands majority ownership, operational and leadership by women. These certifications aren't just symbolic, they open doors to government contracts and client opportunities that can transform businesses. But let's be honest, challenges remain. Many women in consulting still face implicit bias, traits like diplomacy, indirectness, or collaboration, which should be seen as strengths are sometimes misinterpreted as lack of confidence or authority. Women often find themselves steered towards soft projects instead of analytics heavy roles. That's why it's critical for aspiring female consultants to raise their hands for data driven work and to build a brand around results, not just relationships. The good news, more firms now offer women's network, mentorship programs, and leadership initiatives than ever before. There is still work to be done, but the infrastructure is growing strongly. So, what do Mary Parker Fuller, Lillian Gilbreth, Barbara Minto, Dame Stephanie Shirley, Elaine Laporte, and today's leaders all have in common? They didn't just succeed in consulting, they changed it. They challenged assumptions, built new systems, and opened doors for others. Their work has led to more inclusive workspaces, smarter communication methods, and human centered consulting practices. And their legacy continues. Every woman who enters consulting today walks through the doors opened by these pioneers. Their influence is not a footnote, it's the foundation. As we reflect on their stories, let's remember diversity in consulting doesn't just mean representation, it means innovation. When different perspectives come together, the industry becomes smarter, more adaptive, and more human. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the lives and legacies of the women who changed consulting. I hope you leave today's episode inspired, informed, and ready to celebrate the voices that have too often gone unheard. Until next time, I'm Bhakti, and this has been Lyra Pulse. Stay curious, stay bold, and keep changing the game.